But I'm really curious to hear again, like you said, especially with that junior year, and it felt like you obviously had a chip on your shoulder. You were pissed off, didn't even get taken that junior season when you balled out. How satisfying was it to hear your name called, to get that call, if you will, and hey, be taken by an organization like the New York Yankees with the history and the tradition and all the championships? I mean, that's a big deal, obviously. But what was that moment like for you?
It, obviously, I was excited. I would say I was more relieved just to be done with the draft process. It's such a, I'm very grateful to go through that process, but you're answering questions from all these people. They're trying to figure out your makeup and your work ethic and it was just good to know what the next step was instead of like the unknown, I guess, of the draft process. So it was like, all right, I'm with the Yankees. Like, these are where their teams are, and this is the next path. I think that was relief was probably the one thing that I felt most, was like the unknown was very hard to deal with during the super regional. I don't love when the draft is for college baseball in general, but
yeah,
I would say relief and joy, and it was just another step in the ultimate dream of getting to the big leagues.
for sure. And again, you're drafted, and now the real work begins, right? You go through that minor league grind, and I'm taking a look at your career because you made your MLB debut June of 2017. So for you, it wasn't like you get drafted and you're up in the big leagues in a few months. No, you went through truly the minor league grind. You did get a non-roster invitation to spring training with the Yankees in 2015. So you dabbled in it a little bit, but again, you went through that. Talk about just life in the minor leagues, man. I mean, we all hear the stories about the long bus rides and the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and it's a true grind. Some of the, I've heard some of the horror stories of the ballparks you play at, and just, playing the double headers and this and that, whatever. I mean, just talk about that. And I'll ask you this too, because again, now you're enjoying yourself at the major league level, having the career you're having. I mean, did you feel like during that journey, did you, because I feel like it's easy for maybe doubt to creep in at certain times. It's like, am I ever going to get there? Like, it feels like it's a goal that's so far off, you know what I mean? So it can be hard to stay locked in. How did you feel on that process? Did you feel like pretty good about your chances in regards to, if I just keep doing my thing, I will find myself at that level eventually?
Yeah, I think I was extremely lucky in regards to the minor league grind or whatever it is, because I moved fairly quickly through the minor leagues. Went to rookie ball and then got to low A in that first half season, and then got to triple A by the next All-Star break. So got to triple A really quick, and obviously kind of stalled out there, but then you're just one call away instead of maybe 5. So I was much closer to the light at the end of the tunnel maybe than a lot of guys are while they're, in that riding the bus and the bad outings and stuff. So I think being in AAA, being so close to the ultimate goal, helped with a lot of that negativity and, I'm not going to get there and this and that. You knew you were a couple, a 14 inning game and a couple injuries, you were close. So it was, I was extremely lucky to be in AAA for, most of my minor league career, to not have that. Who knows, if I'm 26 and I'm still in A ball or whatever, doubt could have crept in very easily. But I think being so close to the end of the ultimate goal helped with all the bus rides and the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and all that stuff, because it's not glamorous, and it's definitely not glamorous when you leave a place like South Carolina. You're like, oh man, I'm not in the SEC anymore. This is not, these aren't the nice buses. We're not flying to LSU or, this is different. But it was fun. I mean, you had good days and bad days just like any other job. And I think, you have to take it as a job that it is. It's a really fun one. It's it's the best job in the world, but you're still getting paid to do it. So, there'll be days that you don't like it. And there's a lot of those days in the minor leagues, that's for sure.
For sure. Now, Tyler, we know that there's a jump from high school ball to the SEC, of course, and it's the premier conference in the country. So, there's no secret there's a jump from playing college baseball, SEC baseball, to the professional ranks as
Mhm.
well. Do you feel like so? I'm sure your game was very conditioned for what you were seeing at the minor league level. But was there a major jump for you that you feel like you had to make in your game going from college to the pros, or did you feel from the SEC grind like you pretty much just kind of hit the ground running? And because like you said, you moved through pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I would say, rookie ball was kind of, it wasn't. I felt like I was prepared for rookie ball. I got through that pretty quick. Same with low A. Double A, I scuffled a little bit early, and then that was the first time where I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to make some pitches. Like, I make a mistake, I'm gonna get tattooed. And double A was the first time that I was like, all right, I gotta get more consistent. I gotta, that was when you saw the raw talent of some guys, because I mean, there's raw talent in the SEC. Don't get me wrong, but they're good baseball players. There's some guys that just, in the minor leagues, they'll just run into one, hit it 480 feet out of nowhere. So I think once you got double A, that was good baseball. And then triple A, you had guys coming back from the big leagues, and you had to be real consistent. Like, you can make 3 or 4 good pitches, and then you hang one. And those older players, that have some big league time, they make you pay most of the time. So I would say, I was fairly prepared for the lower levels, and then double A was a learning curve, and then triple A was definitely another one.
For sure. And obviously you get to the major league level, Tyler. You make your major league debut June the 24th, 2017, for the New York Yankees. Just talk about that again. You finally do get that call and you get the opportunity. And first time, obviously, you take the field, for the Yankees. I mean, what was that like? What was that experience like for you? What do you remember from it?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. I was eating breakfast in Scranton, and pitching coach was like, "Hey, I need you to go to the ballpark." I was like, "Right now?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't tell you what's going on, but go to the ballpark." And he's like, "Pack your clothes." So I was like, "All right, well, I'm going somewhere." So I pack up, and manager tells me, "Congratulations, you're going to the big league." So obviously, I call my parents, call my wife, um, and so call my wife. She's like, "All right, I got to figure out how to get there." Call my mom, and she's like, she doesn't believe me. She thought I was joking with her, so that kind of ticked me off right away. I'm like, "What do you mean? You think I'm joking?" So my parents got up there. My wife Lauren got up there. I think the best thing that happened was I didn't pitch that night. I got to New York, kind of got my feet wet, sat in the bullpen for a couple of days, and then got my shot. So I think the sitting in the bullpen, kind of getting my feet wet a little bit, definitely helped the shock and awe of Yankee Stadium and all that. But it was great having my family there. My sisters got to come. Had a big group there for the debut. So it was, it was just as much, it was awesome for me, but it was great to have my parents and wife there. Those people that sacrifice so much. My wife basically supporting me through the minor leagues, and then my parents with the Tommy John. They rode to South. They basically broke a Suburban driving to South Carolina 4 years in a row. So and Omaha. So it was just as much a payoff for them as it was for me.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, Tyler, because again, you pitched for the Yankees, Brewers, and Padres all within basically a 2-year span, right? 2017 and 2018. And then you're picked up off waivers by the St. Louis Cardinals, which again, I think is another, and you would certainly, I'd agree with this, a fantastic baseball organization. I was lucky enough a couple years ago to go to a game at Busch Stadium and take in St. Louis. I mean, those people, they love their baseball. I mean, it reminds me a lot of South Carolina. Like, they're big baseball people. You know what I mean? That's a baseball town. But, just talk about, again, you bounce around a little bit from the Yankees, the Brewers, the Padres. And again, you've stuck with the Cardinals and you've pitched some big innings with them. And, I remember specifically, heck, what was it? It was 2019 Braves Cardinals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And obviously this is Braves country down here. We're watching. I think you pitched in that series. And, unfortunately, fortunately for you, the Cardinals found a way to get the job done. But no, man, just talk about what do you feel like's worked for you so well in St. Louis? Not that it didn't work in the other places, but again, I feel like you found a really nice groove and a good home in St. Louis.
Yeah, I would say, being with the Yankees for so long, that first trade kind of, I got a little shell shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I knew everybody's name and the organization. I was very comfortable, and then all of a sudden you get a call from Brian Cashman and you're traded. And it's part of the game, but I don't think anybody's ready for it. And kind of got a little shell shocked and lost my way, and wasn't pitching great. And then got over to the Cardinals, and I had a couple good outings with the Padres, some good ones, some bad ones, but I felt like I was righting the ship a little bit. And then got in that Cardinals organization. It reminded me a lot of the Yankees, kind of business-like, do the little things right, kind of similar organizations, and kind of fit back in that groove a little bit, was throwing well, and picked up a couple things along the way. And the end of 18 in the big leagues, figured out, another weapon to get lefties out, and kind of took off from there. So I think it was just being, a lot of it's being comfortable, and you got to get lucky too. So, I feel very fortunate to be with the Cardinals and to have all those experiences and just to feed off of them now. And yeah, it was a crazy year and a half though, when all that was happening, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, you're definitely in a great organization. I'll ask you, Tyler, one of the last questions here, and we'll wrap it up. But how excited, again, obviously you're in big league camp right now, like you said, down in
Mhm.
Florida. How excited are you to get just, a as normal as possible, 162 game MLB
Mhm.
season in? Because I know 2020 was, I mean, just pure madness. I mean, you guys didn't even know if you were going to play. And I will
Yeah,
say, though, that I thought the 60 game season was very interesting. It was very intriguing. With it just felt
yeah,
like it was like a college season, like every game
yeah.
counted and all that. But I know you guys, especially with the madness of last year, again, how just excited are you to go through a normal spring training and have a normal opening day and
Mhm.
have a normal MLB season?
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited. We got limited fans in the stands here for spring training, so that's, you don't take the fans for granted. I wouldn't say, but you didn't realize how big of an impact they have on you while you're on the field. I think is a fair assessment.
Mm,
So the fake crowd noise, and it was just a weird year with we got hit obviously pretty hard by the virus, and
yeah.
I don't know how many double headers we played. It's just good to be like back in a closer to normal routine. Um, yeah, I would just say the routine, having fans back in the stands, and we got our guys back in Wayno and Yachty, picked up Arenado, so everybody's in high spirits in Palm Beach for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot you guys did pick up Nolan Arenado. I think the
Yeah,
Cardinals might be back. I think the
yeah,
Cardinals might be back with a guy like, dude. He's such a beast. Arenado's such a freaking beast, man.
yeah. Everybody in Cardinals camp's pretty excited. So
Yeah.
um, we're ready to get the season rolling. That's for sure.